Hello everyone, Clint here. Hope everybody is doing well today. Today I want to talk about the fitness review of the Galaxy Watch 4 and the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. Really important for me is for my wearables to be able to track my fitness, and I expect them to work really well. I would actually probably use a separate fitness watch, except I'm just too geeky and I need that smartwatch capabilities, especially like a voice assistant. I need to be able to, on the fly, add some, tasks or timers or any of that kind of stuff. So I still need a smartwatch. However, I do like to look at the data from my fitness watches. So today I've had this watch for quite some time and I've been using it a lot for fitness, and there's a few issues with it that I'll go through real quick, and I finally think I might have finally fixed it, so I thought it'd be okay to go ahead and do this review. Okay, first off, I did do all of my testing using the Samsung Health application on the watch, also syncing with the Samsung Health on the my Fold 3. And I also had one of these connected to my Flip 3, but either way they sync together, so it doesn't really matter. However, I only used the Samsung Health version. I did not use Google Fit. I think I am going to use Google Fit and see how hard that is to use on a Samsung watch. Obviously, the Samsung Health works really well on the Galaxy watches, so Samsung. Okay, let's get started here. To use the actual fitness part of this, you go into Samsung Health here. This will give you your rings, very Apple-esque. Same thing it did in Tizen when the Galaxy Watch 3 gives your steps, gives your exercise history, your sleep, your body composition. That's a new sensor for the Galaxy Watch 4. Heart rate and stress levels, blood oxygen, and then you can track your food and your women can track their cycle time. But if you wanted to hit an exercise, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can go here to the exercise, and then you can choose workout, which then takes you to the workout app, or you can use the tile that comes with it, which I recommend mostly for the three main. You can have three workouts that you do all the time, and then you hit more and it takes you right back to that screen again, and then you can take pick one of these particular pick up these fitness, whatever type of fitness you're doing, whatever type of workout you're doing at that time, and then you just click it and then off you go. One odd thing here is there's a ton of workouts, but there's not like just a generic weightlifting or strength training workout, so we have to use the other workout all the time for that particular workout. And then if you need to add one that's not part of it, you can kind of scroll through each one here. As you can tell, a lot of these are just individual like weightlifting exercises. I don't use these at all, so that was not part of the test. And so then you just pick one of those, and then off you go, and then it'll start tracking your heart rate and your calories burned and that kind of stuff. So it depends on which one you activate. Let's do running real quick. As you can see here, it's going to turn on the GPS. I recommend you wait till that GPS locks if you're going to do an outside GPS. Otherwise, you're going to be off a little bit. But it's probably not going to pick it up because I'm inside right now. But then you would just click it. It gives you a 3 seconds, and then you can click it again to get going, and then off you go. And it gives you different data as you're going, and these will actually you can swipe to the right if you have any music playing or books or anything you got going while you're doing your exercise, and then you can swipe to the right, which gives you the thing on the left, which then you can go to a new exercise. So if you're finished with one and you want to hit new because you're still in the same workout but you're doing a new exercise, you can hit new, or you can hit finish, which will then finish the workout. Gives you your distance, and as you can see, it's in auto pause mode right now. Any kind of exercise where you're doing any kind of moving, like running or cycling, it will auto pause. So if you stop at an intersection or you need to stop and take a photo, that's always my biggest problem. I'm always stopping to take photos, especially on bike rides. It'll automatically pause. It works really good within just a couple seconds of you stopping. It'll pause the workout, and then you have the option to use the bottom button. If you press and hold that, it'll start or pause. Since it was paused, now it'll pause it. That's nice to have that physical button. So if you want to pause anything, especially with something, some exercise that doesn't have the auto pause function, like the other workout doesn't do that, this works out really good. Gives you your heart rate, distance, pace, good stuff here. So pretty basic watch stuff for fitness tracking. And so the back of it here has where all the sensors are. These are very similar to the Galaxy Watch 3 that we used last time, or last year I should say. The difference is, though, is the protrusion of the sensor is a little bit less. It's a lot flatter than the sensor was on the Galaxy Watch 3. But the biggest difference here, I mean, this is pretty all-inclusive sensors. You can do heart rate, you can do your SpO2, your oxygen levels. You can do stress levels with it. You can also check your body fat. It's got the BIA sensor in it. I haven't really tested that too well yet. I think I'm going to do that in a future video also, because I hear it's not working that great. But we'll see. And then it works really good for that kind of stuff, the sensors here. So let's get into actually how it works well. Of course, everything syncs to your Samsung app. And your Samsung Health app, which you pretty much have to have to be able to use the watch. And of course, if you have a Samsung phone, it's already built in. If you have a regular Android phone, it's one of those 3 or 4 pieces of software that you have to download to get it working. Okay, first thing you want to look at the Samsung Health app. Of course, this looks a little different because it's on a fold. Usually it's a single column if you're using a regular phone. But because you're using a tablet here, you're going to see just a little bit more. I like this better, especially for showing you guys stuff. And then you have your steps here. You have your daily activity, your exercise, food, sleep tracking. This does good sleep tracking, body composition when you do your BIA sensor, and then blood oxygen gives you like the low and the high. And then you water, and then you can actually come in here and manage items, and you can add all this other stuff on here if you want to. We don't get blood pressure here in the States, so I've not been able to test that. It does have I guess I've not been able to test it on the watch, and I've not entered anything in here, so I don't use that. So you can add any of these, or you can move any of these if you want to subtract that. So works pretty good. Here in exercise is what I want to show you. So I've had, like I said, I've had this watch for, better save that first. I've had this watch for quite some time. So I'm going to go down to a workout here from not that long ago. Let's go from this week here. Let's just go from September 5th, where we have the exercise bike. And so if you wanted to check out how an exercise bike looks, it works pretty well. You get your total time at the top here, how many calories you got, heart rate. This particular one did a good heart rate. Gives you your average heart rate, your max heart rate. Gives you some heart rate zones, and then this one gives you some specific workout details, which gives you like workout calories, total calories, max heart rate, and average heart rate. Works pretty good. And then other workout, like I said, for this other workout means weight training for me. This is kind of the same thing for weight training. It gives you the time, the total calories, and then the heart rate. And this is one of the this is where I'm starting to figure out what the heck's going on here, because I didn't have this problem before, but as you can tell, there's a whole bunch of heart rate data missing there. And then a whole bunch of in a couple spots in this one. I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't think too much of it. It could be the I mean, a wrist-based heart rate sensor is not the best for any kind of weight training, but usually I've not seen like 5 to 10 minutes where it just checks out like that. That was pretty new to me. Here's a treadmill one. Treadmill is kind of neat because it shows you the speed, cadence, and heart rate all in the same graph. And you can shut those off. So let's shut the heart rate off. And as you can see in this one, there's another giant gap where it just stopped tracking and then it started tracking again. The treadmill is basically the same kind of thing. It gives you duration, distance. Distance is not great. This is actually a mile run, but I'm kind of used to that. Most watches can't seem to finish out the distance very well. Actually, the closest one that does the closest is a TicWatch Pro 3 for some reason. That watch just nails it in Google Fit almost to 1/10 of a mile, which is pretty good. So more data here, max pace, that kind of stuff. And then here we go to another workout right here, weight training. As you can see, this one is really not good. Just huge gaps in the heart rate. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I changed bands. I changed, arms. I changed watches. I went between each watch, and I was still getting this kind of funky here. And then suddenly it would just work fine. So here's one that kind of worked pretty decently for the heart rate. I thought, okay, well, maybe it is doing something different. Treadmill always seems to work pretty well. If you put the heart rate on the treadmill, it always seems to work pretty good. So any kind of run, but then here's the other workout. Here's another one where it just literally about 8 minutes in, it's over an hour workout. 8 minutes in, it just completely stops tracking. And never picks back up, and then tries to give you an average heart rate with no data, which I thought was interesting. So I really thought there's something wrong with the watch. What I ended up doing is doing a little research, and I watched a video from DesFit. His videos, he does a lot of testing on this, and he was having the same problem I was. So it wasn't just me; it was definitely something going on with this watch. So let's try an outdoor running. As you can see here, you get your normal map of where you ran. This is only a 28-minute run, a little less than 3 miles. The GPS on this is really good. I didn't have any problems with that. No complaints there. You can tell, it kind of goes a little wide. That green line is the actual hard trail I was on. But it makes the loops really well, cuts off pretty good, stays on that track most of the time. Here I was against some buildings, so it gets off just a little bit. Again here a little bit, but still really good. Did not have any problems with any of the GPS, either in the running or the biking. And then here's what the outdoor running will give you. You get another graph of pace, elevation, cadence, and heart rate, which is really neat. You can kind of scroll through this, and you can see each one of your categories there. And then if we shut everything off but the heart rate, you can see that the heart rate, I think, did really well. It was very consistent with a reference device that I was also wearing at the time. Same thing with the distance. It worked really well. Average heart rate was probably maybe 1 beat off from what my reference machine was. My reference device. So that works really good. Gives you the maximum heart rate zones again. Gets you right in there. It gives you your splits times. Clint was not running fast at all for this 5K-ish. And then it gives you these advanced running metrics, which I think is really neat. I've never had a watch do this before, and it is definitely a Galaxy Watch thing, where it gives you the asymmetry, the contact time, the flight time, the regularity, the vertical, and the stiffness, and then tells you how you did in each one of those. And if you hit the details, it actually gives you some pretty impressive data on there that you can review to try to figure out what, if your run is a little bit better. And as you can tell, my vertical is not the best, according to this, and I guess maybe we can figure out how to fix that a little bit. Anyways, really good. Then VO2 max, it calculates your VO2 max, and then it gives you a long list of workout details where you got your durations, your distances, your different calories, how many steps you took, average pace, your max pace, your elevation, heart rate, yada yada yada. Great data. I think that's one thing that Samsung does really well, is gives you plenty of data for us data nerds. So that worked really good. The auto detect feature works pretty good within, I'd say pretty fast. It was a lot faster than my Galaxy Watch 3 to pick up walking or even running. It picked it up pretty good. Here's a one that we got the heart rate working pretty good on that particular workout. And then we're going to skip some of these here, but here's another one where it just stops recording. I mean, this was pretty common. Here's another one, stops recording. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't figure it out. I was doing a lot of research. Like I said, I tried bands, different watches. Here's even a treadmill one, which it normally was doing good, where it just has this huge gap. Just completely gapped out there. And then let's see here. I'm going to just kind of scroll through these. You guys don't want to watch all these, but as you can tell, I tested the heck out of it, and it's when it worked good. But as you can tell, it doesn't matter which one I pick, it's gonna just be gappy. Then I got a notification for an update, and I got pretty excited. So this was the October update. See, and I updated this on October 20th, and I really was excited because I saw this an improved HR measurement accuracy algorithm was added. And I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this is the fix. Perfect. I can do that. No, not at all, actually. It didn't fix that at all. Let's see if I can find it. Let's go to other workout. As you can tell, we only got a little gap here. I was thinking, okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And running was pretty solid. And then well, walking, we don't need to see walking. And then I go out on a cycle here, and bam, there it goes. Huge gap right there. I was like, well, that didn't fix it. I thought it fixed it. It didn't fix it, so I started doing more research, and for some reason I missed it. I missed it initially, but Samsung had put out an alert that says heart rate to fix your heart rate monitor during exercise, and what they recommended was to disable the elliptical trainer and rowing machine detection. So if you not know how to do that, there's a specific settings just for shoot, I still got that going. For Samsung Health, so if you go to your settings and then you come here to Samsung Health, this is where you adjust your heart rate for every 10 minutes while still. Stress, blood oxygen during sleep, that's actually pretty cool. Snore detection, and we have those turned off. And then activities to detect. So if you click that, you turn it on or off. So if you don't want it to do that at all, you can turn it off completely, or you can select specifically, like walking, running is turned on, and as you can see, I've turned off elliptical training, rowing machine, swimming, dynamic. I turned off all the ones that I don't think I would want to auto track. And after I did that, solved the problem. And so I've not had any issues since then. I have these little bit. This is what I would normally expect on a weightlifting workout with a wrist-based heart rate sensor, where it's going to check out every once in a while. I mean, you're flexing your arms. It's not going to work all that great. This is fine. So you got what, maybe a minute, a half a minute here, and maybe a minute or two here. This is a lot more acceptable, if you ask me, than what normally it was coming out to. And then everything else was coming out just fine. I think that solved my problem. I don't know exactly why that caused a problem, but I thought, because that's on actually Samsung's website and their support, you would think the last update would have fixed that problem, but it has not fixed that problem. And don't forget to reboot the watch. If you're having this problem and you turn off the elliptical trainer and rowing machine, you have to reboot the watch to get them to take effect. So I screwed that up the first time, but it worked out pretty good. Overall, though, I'm finally satisfied with it. I was actually considering getting rid of it because, like I said, I do like my fitness tracking to be accurate. but it actually came out okay. I'm going to keep testing it here a little bit here and there and see how it works. Hopefully it works out okay. But as far as like wearing it, I've been using this Spigen case on this particular one for a while, but it's light. It's not too heavy. It works out pretty well. Of course, the Galaxy Watch 4 is even lighter. So, I mean, if you're looking for a specific fitness one, then this is probably the best because, I mean, it really is light. It's super, super light. Well, I got dinged up there a little bit. See, I should have put that, get one of those cases for it. Let's see here. Yeah, definitely dinged up. Dang it. But overall, it works really good. The battery works great. I didn't test any of the battery as far as how much battery it takes during like a GPS run or something. I usually don't worry about that too much because I'm not a marathon runner or an ultra marathon runner, so I don't really pay attention to that. But overall, really good. Samsung Health is really great. However, I'm gonna test it again with Google Fit. The problem with somebody like me, I have 3 or 4 different watches, including the Apple Watch, TicWalk Pro. I like to look at trends over time, and if I'm always jumping watches, it doesn't work well for me. So I do like to use Google Fit. It just works out pretty good for me. And to get that Samsung Health into Google Fit, I use an app called Health Sync. And what it does is it will sync my data from my Samsung to my Google Fit, and it works pretty well actually. So I'm pretty happy with that. But I do want to test it out with Google Fit. I think that's what I'm going to do next. I got to figure out some nuances for that to see what I can get there, and maybe I can change the sync direction from Health Sync from Google Fit back to Samsung Health so I can keep some kind of semblance of tracking. But yeah, really good. Pretty much all I think I want to talk about on this one. It took me forever to do this because I really wanted to get that fixed before I did a review, and now I can officially say this works really good for fitness tracking. If that's something you want to be able to do, if you want a fitness tracker and a smartwatch at the same time, this works really good. It'll work even better once it gets Google Assistant. But if you're looking for a specific fitness watch, I'd still always say go with Garmin. However, Garmin doesn't have like it's basically a fitness watch that gives you notifications, and so it's definitely not a smartwatch. But fitness tracking, it's probably bar none the best you can buy, but it depends on what you're looking for. Thanks for staying to the end, and we will see you on the next one.